We are live. What's up, everybody? It is the Monday after the Cowboys versus Packers overtime thriller. Sorry, a little late. I know I was going to be on a little earlier, but needed to do a little bit more prep. We're going to talk about the Cowboys. We're going to talk about. I got a giveaway, and I'm going to go ahead and do the giveaway because I know people probably been waiting on that. So I'm going to do that first. But we're going to talk about the Cowboys game. We're going quarter by quarter. Talk about the important plays that happened in each quarter into the overtime and everything, and just get some commentary on it. First things first, though. First things first. If you participated in the giveaway, we're going to do a giveaway. This past game was the first of four. The first of four giveaways. And let me get into the winners. So we had. All right, make sure this is sharing. Okay, perfect. All right, so we got our contest giveaway. Let me change my view here. All right. So the question was, how many combined receiving yards will Javonte Williams, George Pickens, and Jake Ferguson have against the Packers? You had 3 weeks of evidence to kind of see how this team, how they played. The thing is, CD Lamb was a part of that team. So the first 3 weeks, this is kind of how those averages looked. Pickens was at 55 yards a game. We expected that to go up if we wanted to have a chance against the Packers. So hopefully y'all all assumed Pickens would get more than 55 yards the game. Ferguson was at 61. I kind of like Ferguson at 61 as a tight end. That's kind of normal, typical for him. Doesn't really run well after the catch. That's normal. And Williams at 20, give or take. Okay, I can see that. 20 yards a game, I can see that. The combined average for Pickens, Ferguson, and Williams, if you went off the first 3 games, the combined average was 136 yards a game. So hopefully, anybody who submitted an entry, hopefully you put that number up, assuming that Pickens was going to, I mean, of course, Pickens was going to have more. Williams, maybe Ferguson. You have CD out, so you expect an uptick in some of these players. So let's see what actually happened. Week 4, Pickens had 134 yards per game. If you want to double check my numbers, go to ESPN.com. That's where I'm getting my numbers from. George Pickens had 134 yards this game against the Packers. Let me remove the per game. Ferguson had 40 yards this game, and Javonte Williams had 15 yards receiving this game. So you had Pickens at 134 plus 40 from Ferguson plus 15. The combined number was 189 yards. So who are the finalists? We had third place. Third place, Irv G. I'm trying to kind of keep the last names away. Irv G guessed 165 yards. You were just 24 yards off. That's how close this was. Second place was Nick R. He guessed 170 yards. He was only 19 yards off the 189 yard total. And then we have first place. First place was Claudia F. She guessed 200 yards. She was only 11 yards off. Claudia F is going to be the winner of the first giveaway for the Donovan Talks Cowboys, our partnership with DCFH. We're going to give away 4 jerseys. This was the very first one. So keep in mind, we're going to have another one this week. I'm going to drop that one tomorrow. So we're going to keep building this. We're going to keep doing this. If you have a jersey, if you don't, you can get a fresh new one. You can be customized. But we're going to have some questions like this. Watch the show so you can kind of keep up with what to expect during the games. But the combined total for those was 189 yards this week. The closest we had to that was Claudia F. She guessed 200 yards. She was only 11 yards off. She's going to be the winner. I'll be contacting you tomorrow to get the details on where to send your jersey. All right. Now let's get into the game. Let's get into the game. Let's get into the game. Y'all know Dak is my player. Y'all know Dak is my quarterback. I am not a bandwagon or none of that. I've been rooting for Dak since he got into the league. I've been the guy fighting for Dak every time a quarterback comes into the league and he has a good first year and everybody's ready to throw him in front of Dak. Dak is always the topic of discussion when it comes to who's better than him. I'm always a Dak fan. So seeing that game last night just further gives me the confidence to just keep rooting for Dak because I know he's going to step up in the biggest games. That was one of the best defenses, one of the best pass rushes. And yes, he had help. The O line played very well, but there were times where he was getting hit in his face. He was getting hit, and he was making those passes. Now let's kind of take a look at what some of these things was going on. One thing I noticed, there were some starting lineup changes, not just injury changes, but just typical like starting lineup. Hey, you're not playing good. You this other guy's gonna get in, and it was mostly on defense. You had Maurice Leafau. He started this game. Maurice number 35 started in the game. Damone Clark was not active. I don't know if it was an injury or not. I know he was not active. Shamar James was active and he played. Marshawn Nealon, somebody who I said before the season, I would start Marshawn Nealon and Dante Fowler together. I would not start Sam Williams. Now we finally got to see Nealon in the game. I'm not going to say he played great or not because I haven't broken down the film enough, but I know for a fact Sam Williams did not make. Sam Williams had a penalty. I know Sam Williams made some mistakes. I don't think Marshawn Nealon necessarily did that. And then with Bland coming back, nobody expected Diggs to sit on the bench. Nobody expected Diggs to be benched. Why? Because history shows this Cowboys team doesn't do that. Think about it. We have a coach now who's willing to put star players on the bench for bad performance. There was no reason that Trayvon Diggs did not start this game. There was no reason other than you didn't play good last week, these last couple weeks. And from what we're hearing is that play where Diggs got beat last week and he tried to jam the receiver and got beat and slipped, he was freelancing. He shouldn't have even done it. So I appreciate Matt Eberflus. I appreciate the head coach Brian Schottenheimer for standing up to Jerry Jones, saying, "Hey, I know he makes a lot of money, but he's not playing well. We need to make a statement." And they made that statement. And I think Diggs played a little better because he came off the bench and because he knows it's a possibility. I don't care what you say. Diggs, this is not looking good. I don't care if Diggs plans on playing on another team next year. It's not good to be benched. It's not. He has not been playing good. So he knows he has to play better if he wants to be on a better team or have a good chance next year. All right, so let's start it off. We started off strong in the first quarter. We stopped the run. We stopped the run, and we had to make it 3rd and 9. So let me get into some of these plays, man. Let me get into some of these plays. Share my other screen here. I got a lot of plays for us to watch. I like to look and see what's causing the plays to happen. What was the big play on the drive? How did they get there? Whatever it may be. All right, so we're going to go through some of these plays. So this is the first quarter. This is the first quarter. We're playing well. Oh, it's not the play I wanted. All right, let's try this again. All right, let's look at this one. So you can see we come off and we're really aggressive. Look at 97, Osa. Firing off, beating everything. So you got the tight end who's trying to block. He's getting disrupted. We got the running back. He messes up the entire play right here. So the Cowboys defense came out playing aggressive. And that's what you want to see. We need Osa to be a Pro Bowl player. Osa cannot take a step back this year. We need Osa to do this every game. He came out looking good. That's what we need to see. He came out strong. All right. Let's look at the next play. All right, next play we have. All right, this is the third down play. The Cowboys defense came out strong, right? Came out strong. The first third down, this is what happened. This wasn't first down, second down. This is third and long. The DBs already have been getting crushed all season by not communicating, not staying back. And how does this happen? Again, Diggs did not start this game. So we have Bland up here. What defense are we running is the question. So first things first, what are we running? So you got Reddy Stewart playing bump and run or something, and then you have Bland just standing there. Is he supposed to be backing up? That's what nobody knows, right? What is Bland supposed to be doing right here? We know it's covered. We know it has to be some kind of single high. We have one safety over the type. Either they're manning up down here or they're zoning. Now, everybody told us that the Cowboys have been playing, what, 90% zone coverage? So let's assume that they're probably playing zone right here. How else do we know they're playing zone? Look at the corners here. You see how they're looking down, looking at the quarterback? You see how they're looking back at the quarterback? This is not man coverage. I'm going to assume that Bland right here is supposed to be backing up. He's supposed to be playing this third back here. That's what I'm going to assume. But I don't know because it looks all funky. I don't get it. How does this happen on the very first third down? How does it happen? How do you have two people run back? Here's, I don't get it. We have the safety coming here. You got two people open. It's one of those things where it's just you don't really know what happened because we don't know what the coverage is, but we know it was a broken coverage. Bye. So now they're down here near the red zone. Just watch number 57. I said before the game, Jack Sanborn is like, oh Lord, it's not Sharon. Sorry. There we go. All right, watch number 57 here. I said before the game, Jack Sanborn is like that player who you know is going to be a future coach because he doesn't make any plays, but he gets there. So it's like he gets there, but he doesn't make the play. He's reading, he reacts. Just make the play, Jack. He's always ducking his head. Like, what is that? If Jack Sanborn makes this play, this is a 5-yard gain. That's a 5-yard gain, if that. If he just makes the tackle. So I started off this video saying the Cowboys were willing to make defensive changes. We didn't start Diggs. We didn't start Sam Williams. We didn't start Damone Clark. Why the heck is Jack Sanborn still playing? Why is he still starting? He missed probably 5 tackles this game. He probably missed 5 tackles this game. I don't get it. I do not get it. All right. Let's go to another play. All right, so we started off strong. We stopped the run, then we gave up a 3rd and 9. They end up scoring. Jack Sanborn misses the play, misses the tackle. They end up scoring. The Cowboys come out first drive, and we go 3 and out. That was what we did. We went 3 and out, and at that point, we did 3 run plays. At that point, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a blowout. That's exactly what I'm thinking. The Packers come back, they drive the ball again. The Packers had some really good play calls. This is one of those. Look at this play design. When he catches the ball, they have three blockers, four blockers. Like some of this is the defense isn't that good. Some of this is the offense is calling great plays. When he catches this ball, there's a guy here blocking, there's a guy here setting up a block, and there's a guy here setting up a block in here. This is hard to stop. Let's just call it what it is. If you're not playing man coverage, it's hard to stop. That's why I think the Cowboys are going to have to switch it up more. You can't keep playing 95% zone because they're going to keep playing these zone killers. I'm going to show you multiple plays where they were throwing the ball and you would swear it was a screen, but it wasn't. It was just the way the play was designed. There were many times where the Packers were throwing it short and they had at least one or two blockers out in front every single time. It's hard to stop. It is really hard to stop. So some of this was bad defense. Some of this is just great offensive play calls. And the Packers have a really good offensive play call. It's just hard to make that play. What else can you do? Just what else can you do right here? They have you. You think you're guarding somebody, right? So Kenneth Murray thinks he's guarding somebody. He thinks this guy is running a route. They think these people are running routes. They think they're running routes, and then all of a sudden he throws the ball short, and now you have to come make a play, and they're blocking. They never intended to get the ball. They always was ready to block. It's just hard to stop. So you just got to make the play, and that's what he did. So look at Donovan Wilson come down here and make the play short of the sticks. They ended up making a stop here. So this was stalled because there was a penalty after this, and then they ended up, I think they ended up punting right here. So we ended up making a stop, which is good. Go to the next play. All right. Here's another one. This is a screen, though. This is an obvious screen. They did a lot of this, though. They did a lot of this. This is an obvious screen. You go look at Kenneth Murray. Our linebackers did not play good this game. It wasn't just Jack. Look at Kenneth Murray on this play. Watch him try to go inside this block when he really needs to be physical and attack the blocker. Donovan Wilson and Kenneth Murray have to see this like they see it and attack the ball. You can't do this. As soon as you do that, you open up a lane. You have to go into him and play physical. You can't go around blocks and give up another 15, 20 yards. You just can't do that. Jack Sanborn and Kenneth Murray did not have a great game, and it got worse actually as the game went on. The fourth quarter overtime was pretty bad. The overtime was bad. It's too many yards. So misdirection kills this Cowboys defense. We're not a good misdirection defense. If you do read option, if you do screens, all that stuff, it kills us. All right, next play. Here's another one of those plays. This looks like a scramble play, right? But look at the play. This looks like a scramble play, but watch the running back and watch this other guy. This is a design play. They have a running back out here can catch the ball, and they have a blocker out in front. So Jordan Love knows if nothing's open down the field, I can just dump it off here. And it's a design. Look at this guy. He's ready to block. Hey, give the Packers some credit, man. They were playing designing some calls. They were putting some really good plays together. Now we need Diggs to play more physical. We need you to come on. Come on, Diggs. Come on, Diggs. The ball's caught. Go make a play, bruh. What are you doing here? You're waiting to get blocked. Think about that. Imagine watching film and you see your star player literally letting himself get blocked and almost ran over for a touchdown. This can't happen. This is how you give up 40 points a game. It's exactly how you give up 40 points a game. So the first two drives, it's 13-0, y'all. I think we got to remember how bad this game started. It's 13-0 up until this point right here. 13-0. Our offense has not done jack. And the guy who's barely been playing this season, Wanye Thomas, comes in and makes the play of the game up until this point for our team. We needed that momentum. You even heard Coach Schottenheimer say it. We're a momentum team. We feed off of momentum. We needed this. We needed this. It was 13-0. Now it's 13-2. Unfortunately, what did we do right after that? The Cowboys got the ball and we went 3-and-out. We didn't do anything. I'm gonna show you that now. This offense, we started off way too scared. I didn't like that. I don't like how scared we started off, especially that first drive. Oh, this is actually no, this is the drive we scored on. So we drive the ball, and you can see Dak finds Pickens. We're starting to heat up again. We feeding off that momentum. That block kick was big. The block kick was key. Now pay attention to this play. Do y'all remember the play in the second half? I think it was the fourth quarter where Dak had Pickens going deep and Tolbert going deep with a single high safety, and Dak threw it to Tolbert. The reason why I think Dak threw it to Tolbert that second time is look how this safety plays this. Dak throws this ball right now, and the safety's in the middle of the field, and he makes this play. So look where the safety is before the snap. He ends up getting the Pickens. I think this caused Dak to not throw it to Pickens on that same route later in the game. That's why he went to Tolbert. He went to Tolbert because he was expecting the safety to go to Pickens. Some people say it doesn't matter. This is why you go to Pickens every time because he makes this play. Maybe you're right. But I think that's why Dak didn't go to Pickens on this route later in the game is because he saw how good this safety played it, and he didn't want it to be an interception next time. So he tried to trick him and throw it to Tolbert the next time. Hell of a catch by Pickens. Concentration, got the foot down. You need this. Great throw as well. I mean, that pass had to get there, and it got there. It was a great pass. So the Cowboys go on to score. We need our defense to step up and make a play. So let's show another one. We need our defense now to step up and make a play. Let's see what they do. All right, let's notice who's in the game. This is one of the first sightings of James Houston. This is towards the end of the second quarter. We got Jadeveon Clowney in there. We got Sam Williams in there. We got Solomon Thomas. We got James Houston. This tells you this is a passing situation. We already know. Guess who else is in there? Shamar James, Kenneth Murray. All right. This is a passing down. One of the first plays Jadeveon Clowney played. One of the first plays James Houston played tonight. Pay attention to James Houston. Every other defensive end we watch, they always end up in the dead middle of the offensive tackle. Every time. James Houston just has a feel for how to rush. He knows how to stick that foot in the ground and watch how he boom. But he's still attacking the outside shoulder. He's still working towards the outside shoulder. That's how he gets around him. And that's how he ends up making this play. Yes, Jordan Love did hold on to the ball a little bit longer than he had been. But that's how we ended up making that play. Also, what was Sam Williams doing on the other side when he was in the game? Sam Williams always ended up inside. Well, Jadeveon Clowney starts to go inside, but he still pushes the outside shoulder, ends up pushing the tackle back into the pocket. So Jordan Love doesn't really have anywhere to go. Here's Sam Williams. Sam Williams is playing defensive tackle right here, 3 technique. He's working. And you got Solomon Thomas trying to get there as well. But James Houston is really the only one who wins this play. He's the only one. And it's because he just has a feel. Everybody else doesn't have a feel. Even when he ends up inside, he knows to attack the outside shoulder. We need more of this. We need James Houston to play more on passing downs. We just need it. So that was a big play. Again, starting to get our momentum a little bit. Even the defense is starting to feed off of that momentum from that blocked field goal kick. Let's go to the next one. We got Oh, this is one of the bigger run plays. Y'all, I've been covering linebackers since preseason. The linebackers have been the weakness since preseason. Every time I cover the linebackers, I try to teach y'all what I'm talking about. This is a if they double team right here, linebackers have to come downhill. Watch Sanborn get stuck in mud. Boom. This is his gap. Okay, let's say he has to play two gaps. I don't know what they're doing here. Maybe he has to two gap it. You still have to be fast enough to read that and then go. I don't understand why Jack Sanborn is so slow reacting. Sometimes he's fast, sometimes he's slow, and this was one of those times where he's just slow. He can't afford to be slow because he's too slow footed. He's too slow footed. So we already saw him miss a tackle. We see him not reading this run. This is supposed to be his play. And then, of course, Diggs isn't going to make the play. We know that. Look at that. Diggs ain't going to make no play. Shamar James probably needs to start next game. All right, we're showing blitz. We don't blitz. Ah, we have a good pass rush. Look at Solomon Thomas. Good pass rush, but you got to finish it. Did he get blocked in the back? Was he held? I don't know. Boom. Look at him get his hands off. Look at him swap those hands. Boom. Turn them hips. Ah, what happened though? Make the play. They would have called blocking the back on us, but I don't think it was blocking the back, actually. I think he just has to break down and make this play. He doesn't. This was the biggest scramble for Jordan Love. I believe this was third down, y'all. If we just make this play, drives over. He takes off. He gets about 30 yards on this scramble. Good hustle by Shamar James. Way too late, though. Again, got to make this play. I mean, these are just some of the things that kept drives going. It's not like the defense played horrible. It was just one play per drive that you just got to make it. You got to make it. When you get to third and down, you got to make it. We got Maurice Leofow, Jack Sanborn, and Kenneth Murray out there. This is the starting defense. Ooh. Kenny Clark. Watch Kenny Clark. Get upfield. Shoot those hands. Ah, he got to make that play, though. Come on, Kenny. Come on, Kenny. Now, it's hard for Kenny to make this play because look what happens. This is why team defense is key. When Osa does this, he did it in the beginning of the game and he made the play, right? But when he does this and he swims from this gap to that gap, now you have two gaps pretty much open right here. And guess who has to fill that? Kenny Clark. And it's hard. If if Osa if Osa stays here and he's kind of making it stalemate here, now Kenny Clark doesn't have to go so far. Now the gap isn't so big, right? Kenny Clark did everything right here. Look at him control that guy. He just couldn't make that play because the gap was too wide. Now, where's Jack Sanborn going? Where are you going, 57? Probably was held a little bit. That's a touchdown. Let's look at our rookie right here, Donovan Ezeraku. No, 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 no. I've been saying it since preseason. We cannot get blocked by tight ends. It can't happen. You just got drove 4 yards sideways. So now you're 4 yards from where you're supposed to be. Donovan Ezeraku is supposed to be here. Osa is supposed to be here. Kenny Clark there. Sanborn should be here. There's nobody there because everybody's getting blocked and dominated. And look at the effort by Trayvon Diggs. Jesus. You can't bench him the whole game because you need him. Can you go make a play? What is that? All right, let's take a look at some offense. All right. Dak did a lot of this at the line of scrimmage. He sees something. He's about to run it to the right side. So this play was perfectly set up. You got man here, man here, man here, man here. This is really supposed to be set up for him to be one on one with the safety. And that's really what ends up happening. I think he could have scored on this play. He scored a couple plays later. But at the time, I'm like, golly, I feel like he could have scored on here. He cut because that's the way he read that block. I just felt like, if he kind of pushes this hole and then bounces back out, maybe he gets there, right? But he's a powerful runner. He likes to run over people. He puts that shoulder down. I think he knows he could have gotten that end zone. He gets in there. This is a good play. Great blocking. Really good blocking. And that was a good audible by Dak, if that's what he ended up doing. So we ended up scoring. Packers get the ball. We could not stop the Packers at all on defense. Ooh. See Clowney. Look at Clowney. Now, this was a play where if Sam Williams was in here, this edge would not have been set. Here's what I mean. Clowney gets out of position. Right here, he's kind of out of position, but then he knows he's out of position. He knows he has to set the edge, and that's exactly what he does. He spins, and now he's back in position. This is why you need a veteran presence. You need somebody who can play and just knows what he's doing. That's exactly what we needed. Now they have to get around him. He's blowing all that up, and now Kenny Clark can come down and make the play. Now you also have Solomon Thomas. Look at the penetration Solomon gets. Boom. It allows everybody else to get to the ball. That was a great, great play by the defensive line. I don't know what Murray's doing here. I feel like Murray's just he kind of threw his shoulder, but he didn't hit nothing. But that's our linebackers, right? All right. Next play, we got mm, this was a third down play. And what's interesting here is it looks like we were supposed to be running a stunt. Look at Kenneth Murray attack this outside tackle. I don't know if this was just a delayed blitz. I don't know if the defensive end was supposed to be looping around. I don't know. Bland is playing pretty much tight man coverage, I believe. He reads this well. Look at him bite on. Look at him go for this. This is perfect defense. You just got to make the play. I don't think Bland actually ever sees the ball. I don't know. I feel like he doesn't see the ball. And then you have Donovan Wilson. This is why Donovan Wilson is still in the game, y'all. Donovan Wilson is one of your surest tacklers. This is the second time he ended up saving a bigger play just because he's a sure tackler. This is really the only reason he's in the game. Not to cover people, but because he's a great tackler. So we try to blitz, but we're not a good blitzing team. It doesn't look good when we blitz. We never really get back there. And that's what's discouraging is Matt Eberflus and the coaches and all of them said we were going to design blitzes. We were going to design pressure. We're not really seeing it. The only pressure we really saw so far, Solomon Thomas from the D tackle position and James Houston from the defensive end. Here's a touchdown for the Packers. So this is what I don't know. Who has the middle of the field? So I'm going to assume based on the defense we run, doesn't this guy supposed to have deep middle? I don't know though. All right, but I think he's supposed to have deep middle. Because if the safety's coming down, somebody has to be in the middle. You standing there ain't covering nobody. And they tried to come back to this towards the end of the game. Remember, Jack Sanborn was in the middle and ended up stopping that play. This is just pitch and catch. The Cowboys scored on a play similar to this. It's too easy. I swear Romeo Dobbs is not that great. He should have never scored 3 touchdowns in a game. Never. He's probably never done that before. That's the type of defense we have. You're going to break records against this defense. All right. So Dak comes. This drive ends up in a touchdown, and it was pretty much all on Dak. I believe this was the end of the half. I believe. So he goes, he checks it down to Ferguson. Gets it over to Tolbert. Good run after catch there. And this should be the touchdown pass or close to it. Here's the touchdown pass. And they were really just playing way. I think if you want to guard Pickens, you have to man Pickens up and press him. I think when you play Pickens off like this, there were multiple times during the game, even late, where he would just run right around people or right like this, just stop in front of them. You're not going to tackle Pickens one on one like this. So this was just a good effort by him, just reading the coverage, cutting it up. Dak reads it. He knows he got to go to his guy one on one. I mean, this is what you get Pickens for, to make this play. He made that play. He dropped the ball earlier in the half, but he makes that play. Pickens showed up to play. He played really, really good that game. All right, let's see what we got next. If you're joining, please subscribe to the show. We're looking at some film. We did the giveaway earlier, so definitely check out the video if you missed it. Conservative, man. When you start getting beat, your corners start to play real soft. Look at this guy. Real soft. Look how soft he is. Because he's scared he's going to get beat. That's a pitch and catch. Pitch and catch. All right, here's the play where we had a chance to win the game. All right, had a chance to win the game. Was anybody open here though? Is the question. So you can see Dak. He's kind of looking to the left a little bit. He doesn't see it, and he moves away. And by the time he moves away, you can see Ferguson coming open right when Dak moves away. As soon as Dak starts to survey to the right, boom, there goes Ferguson. And the reason why it took a while is Ferguson was kind of doing like a little delayed route. So he didn't run a route right away. He kind of starts to chip and then he runs it and it ends up open. Shotty was calling some good plays. This ends up open because this guy doesn't know who to cover. So now you have something open right here, but Dak just moved away from it too soon. He also could have gave, and again, I think Dak was playing not to make a mistake on this play. And you can't blame him sometimes because every time we lose, they go straight to Dak's one mistake. But I would give this guy a chance, Javonte Williams, even though he may come up and make this play. But maybe I throw it to Javonte Williams and say, hey, go heads up, play one on one, and let's see if you can make that. He decides to throw it out of bounds. I understand it. But it sucks because we needed that touchdown and we've been playing so well scoring touchdowns. If he would have just stayed a little patient, because there's no rush. There's no rush. Nobody's coming free really right here. So if he just stays patient and sees his guy Ferguson, his number one threat. That could have been a game winner. That really could have been a game winner right there. But I'm not the guy who's going to say, "Oh, we lost because of Dak." Everybody knows we're only in these games because of Dak. Dak is an MVP player, and he's not perfect. That's all it is. Defense has to make a stop. They don't. This play was interesting because watch again. The linebackers played bad this game. Watch Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray recognizes the route right now. This is him right here. He recognizes his threat. This is his threat. Now watch how he starts to run upfield because he fears. Look at him. He fears that this receipt, but he doesn't. You got to know you have a safety over the top. So because Kenneth Murray is scared to get beat and doesn't know he has a safety over the top, guess what happens? This guy ends up stopping. Jordan Love is about to throw this rocket right here at the 35-yard line. And it just ends up a close completion. But the reason why it's close is because Kenneth Murray was so scared he was going to get beat. But you don't have to be scared. The safety's over the top. But you know what happens when you get beat and you don't have a safety over the top when you think you're supposed to have one? You get scared. You don't trust that you're going to have a safety over the top. You think you have to be the safety, and you don't. That's the thing about it. So while he's taking off upfield, this guy let me stop right here, and the ball's right there. This was a big play because this kept the drive moving. This kept the drive moving. We're going to watch it at a different angle right here. Watch Kenneth Murray. They're communicating, and just watch the angle he takes. Man, we need that. What's up, DJ? Dak played good. Give him his credit, but he got to be consistent. Hey, look, Dak is look, we can't we can't treat Dak different than we treat Mahomes. We can't treat Dak Prescott different than we treat Lamar Jackson. We can't treat Dak Prescott different than we treat the guy in Cincinnati. We can't treat him where he has to be perfect, but all these other guys can make mistakes. But because their teams may be better at overcoming mistakes and winning those games, we're gonna act like Dak is the issue, right? So I get it, DJ. He does have to be consistent. But I think Dak has been consistent his whole career. Like, you can probably point out 10 bad games over a stretch. Like, Dak doesn't play bad. He just doesn't. He doesn't play bad. What's up, Achilles? One more thing. Why we just spoon feeding and clowning? Let the tiger out the cage. Look, come on, Achilles. Come on, man. This man didn't practice at all during preseason, during training camp. He had no training camp, no mini camp, no preseason. You don't throw a guy, a veteran, in there and just say, "Hey, go play 50 snaps." He really only had a good 15 in him. And now he's going to pick it up after that. But he really only, and I only want him to play 15 snaps. I said that before. I said, look, I watched the film from last year. I saw some of it. Clowney is not a 60 snap guy. He's not going to make a whole lot of the effort plays that you need your players to make. You need all 11 guys to be full speed playing hard. Clowney is the guy who's going to make the plays that come to him. He's not going to make those effort plays, but we need the guys to make the plays that come to him, which is why he's out there. Tell me this: why is on first and goal at the 5 yard line we passing the ball, Javon? And you know what's funny? We've all been Cowboy fans enough to know in years past it was always a consistent thing. Why are we not running it when we need to run it here? That was like every game for the last 5 years. We always questioned why are we not running it when we need to run it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have a whole lot of those issues this year so far, but there have been a couple instances where it's like, damn, Shotty, why are you not running the ball here? You know what I mean? So I'm with you, especially when we have a good run game. Especially when we have a good run game. I'm with you on that. He needs to be more consistent in running the ball and goal line. Why is it that at some points the defense looks like they are getting somewhere, and very next drive we get back to square one? It's big plays. It's big plays. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I looked at a lot of these big plays. These big plays are usually a busted coverage, or some of these are play design, y'all. I'm telling you. We got to give some of these offenses credit. Some of this is just good play calls. The Packers, it seemed like every time they threw the ball short, it was like a screen. Even if it didn't look like a screen, even if the linemen weren't blocking it like a screen, it was like a screen because they always had lead blockers. I showed a play earlier where they threw it 10 yards down the field and they had three people setting up the block and they almost got a first down. It's just that's just how they this is just how some of these teams have, they have really good play calls. I'm not sure how to feel about Leofow right now, but then again, the rest was just calling whatever. Look, we're not dumb here, y'all. Leofow is that guy. If you watch Leofow on special teams, he is one of those reckless players that you need to have, but you got to make sure he understands how to control it. He reminds me a little bit of Fred Warner, but he's not Fred Warner, right? He's smaller. He's nowhere near Fred Warner. But when you watch Leofow, I didn't do that. I didn't. I saw it during live. Leofow was knocking dudes over on the goal line, trying to make tackles, just like he does on special teams. Leofow is going to be a player in this league. The thing is, that play that he had a penalty on is probably the exact reason why he's not starting. The exact reason why he's not playing. Why the hell would you run and take 5 extra steps to hit somebody who you know didn't catch the ball? In Leofow's mind, he's setting a tone. You don't set a tone that deep in the game, bruh. If you're gonna do something like that, first play of the game, do it. But it can't be a killer mistake like that. It just can't. We just can't have those mistakes. And it was unacceptable. It just was. Unfortunately, it was. Then on 1 second play, I thought for sure one of our guys would turn around and intercept that, but no. Look, you're talking about the Jack Sanborn play. I'm just happy he was back there and he didn't interfere the guy. That's all I can accept. I don't think he should be starting anyway. I think his coach is setting him up for failure. I think Matt Eberflus convinced Jack Sanborn to come over here, telling him he was going to start. He was going to be a key contributor, and he's doing all the things he told him he was going to do. But Jack Sanborn is not fulfilling his promise and playing well enough to show why he should be starting. The worst thing I ever heard from the haters so far is our defense couldn't stop a parked car. Now that's awful. The worst thing I heard from the haters is our defense couldn't stop a park. It's pretty sad. It's true. In the end, we deserve a tie because we did have half the stuff right. Yeah. And this is, I heard somebody say this, it was kind of telling for the trade, right? Everybody wants to know who won the trade, who won the trade. Real Cowboy fans know it doesn't really matter. Like we had to get rid of that Micah. It we had to. And to be honest with you, this game proved why. Micah Parsons is the best player on the field. Could you tell last night? I'm pausing because I really want to know. Could you tell Micah Parsons was the best player on the field last night? Did you realize that we had single blocks about 70% of the time? You don't single block Miles Garrett 70 to 80% of the game without him dominating the game. How many games does Miles Garrett go when he's that quiet? And don't let the sack fool you. I don't even know if that was a sack. I think they just gave it to him. Like, let's just keep it real. That game was one of the reasons why you don't pay Micah Parsons 47 million. You just don't. You don't pay Micah 47 million for that. I'm sorry. He's not Lawrence Taylor. He's not. Last but not least, we keep Parsons at 90% contained. That's one good thing. And I think I've said my piece. Oh, you good, man. You're right. Micah Parsons didn't win that game. I know people are trying to say, hey, this Micah Parsons made the game saving tackle, blah, blah, blah. Look, first of all, Dak Prescott does not have the giddy up that he used to have. If Dak Prescott still had the giddy up that he had 5 years ago, Michael Parsons never sniffs him. Dak Prescott is slower. And Dak Prescott probably was not going to score that touchdown. There was somebody there who probably could have tackled him. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it was a good play by Micah, but you're not paying Micah 47 million to make that one play. Micah knows that it was a disappointing game. They gave up 40 points, and Micah Parsons was on the field. Side note, my guess for the contest was looking clean by the end of the third quarter, but then we hit OT and I died. When's the next giveaway question? Assuming tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be the next giveaway. I know we got some people asking about it. You're gonna have to. I already announced the winner. Claudia was the winner of this giveaway. Um, it was 100 and what was it? The combined yards was 189 yards. Pickens had 134. Ferguson had 40, and Williams had 15. It was 189. The closest guess was by Claudia. She guessed 200 yards, so she was only 11 yards off. The second place person who's not going to get a jersey, but they were second place was Nick. He was at 19 yards off. He had guessed 170 yards. He was only 19 yards off. So tomorrow I'm going to release the next one. You're going to have another chance to win a giveaway. All right, look. I got a lot of film here. I'm not going to play more of the film. I'll put that in the Patreon. But look, the Cowboys defense is still struggling. I think we are on to something. Sam Williams should not be starting. Sam Williams can play a three technique in passing situations. I'm okay with that. Shamar James, let's get him in the game more. Jack Sanborn, be on the bench. Put a headset on. Give Jack Sanborn a headset and let him help coach the defense. Let him help get people in the right spots. Let Jack Sanborn be like a coach on the sideline. He doesn't have the athletic ability to be a full-time starter. If I'm on offense, I'm going straight at Jack Sanborn because I don't believe he can tackle my running backs one-on-one. That's the reality. Jack Sanborn is not a good open field tackler. It's just what it is. And he struggles sometimes on reacting to what's in front of him. The next giveaway question, I'll tell everybody that tomorrow. Tell everybody that tomorrow. Overall, uh, hey, look, this is why we're America's team, right? Like all the haters they want to hate on us. Why are we America's team and all this? Are they not entertained? Like, think about all the storylines. Think about that. The Packers gave up 40 points with no CD Lamb. Who picked that? Who picked the Cowboys scoring 30 points with no CD Lamb, no Tyler Booker, no Cooper Beebe? Your right tackle gets benched for a second year player who was a fifth or seventh round pick, Nate Thomas. All that happened, and we still put up 40 points against a defense that's been dominating through the first quarter of the season. Unfortunately, our defense still sucks. I just want to know, what do you do to fix it like permanently? I know we like to say Shamar James and things like that, but nobody thinks that Shamar James is going to be a Pro Bowler. Nobody thinks he's going to be we're just hoping that he makes a tackle and doesn't miss tackles. But we still don't have game changers. We still don't have game changers. You know what I mean? Achilles, it'd be nice to win a jersey for my birthday next week. Hey man, you're right. You're right. I'm gonna make sure we have a really good challenging question for you though. Hey, I did had us winning a shootout. Hey man, I'm surprised. I didn't have that. If I would have picked the game, I don't think I picked the score or anything. It would have been like 27-24. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was not expecting Pickens to put up the numbers he put up. I was not. I was not expecting Pickens to put up the numbers he put up. I just wasn't. So he surprised me, and I'm happy. I want him to surprise me. I want Pickens to be a guy that you can pay and feel comfortable in paying. And honestly, I don't have any issue with Pickens. He seems like a dog to me. He doesn't talk much. He just focused. I mean, he doesn't really seem like much. He just wants to win. It's like having T.O. on your team. He just wants to win. It's like having Dez Bryant, a quieter Dez Bryant. He just wants to win. He's going to get emotional when he's not winning. I think if we're up by 30 points and he has zero catches, I don't think George Pickens get emotional. I think Pickens really just wants to win. That's it. I think he just wants to win. 45-43, I believe I said something like that. Hey, that's a good guess. I don't know how the heck you had us scoring 40-something points against the Packers defense with no CD Lamb and no Cooper Beebe and no Booker. Well, you are a homer, and you are really a Dak Prescott fan, because I'm a Dak Prescott fan too. But all I thought he was gonna do was win it. I didn't think he was gonna put up no 40 points. I'm just being honest with you. I thought this offensive line was gonna struggle. I thought this offensive line was gonna struggle. They were gonna get a lot of pressure on us. And they hey, we held it. We held our own. Dak Prescott did what he had to do. Dak Prescott made some hell of a throws, man. And we had guys stepping up. Let's give Tober some credit. Let me go to the stats. Like, let's give guys some credit. We've been hard on guys for the little things, right? We've been hard on guys for not blocking, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. And we should be. Like, the reason why the Cowboys fan base is so great is because our message gets out there. You mean to tell me you don't think Jalen Tolbert and all these guys heard about them not blocking? They heard about that because we're all on social media killing them goos. We're like, hey man, CD, we needed you to play better. George Pickens, we need you to catch the ball. We need all that. And I think they hear that stuff. Hey, that doesn't mean they're gonna work, right? Our D line still ain't getting a lot of pressure, but the D line played better than the last few weeks. All right. So that's good. Now look at this. Look at the Packers. You would have swore the Packers had like five dudes with 100 yards receiving. They had Josh Jacobs with 71. He was their leading receiver. He's a running back. They were killing us with screen passes. They were killing us with dumping the ball off and run after the catch. That's what hurt us. What hurt us was run after the catch. Over here, we have George Pickens, 8 catches on 11 targets. Efficient. That's a 75% catch rate or something like that. 17 yards per. I'm pretty sure if he averages this for a season, that's going to be number one in the NFL. 2 touchdowns. I mean, this is what you expect from your number one receiver. If you want to be a number one receiver, keep putting up numbers like this while CD Lamb is out. Keep doing that. We need more from you. Jake Ferguson, we need more. I'm tired of you having over 5 catches, but you only have less than 50 yards receiving. Like, that's not good enough. 5.7 yards a catch. I mean, I'm pretty sure Witten was even doing better than that. And everybody knew Witten moved like a turtle. Like Witten was, it was annoying to watch Witten sometimes when he got, especially when he got older, because it was like he always was open, but you swore if we just had somebody that was a little more athletic, we would get way more boom for our buck. But we never did though. Right? We Martellus Bennett and all these other guys came, Fasano and all these dudes that we thought was going to be able to take over Jason Witten, but they never did. And then we get a guy named Jake Ferguson. He's wearing number 87. If I look at Jake Ferguson's size and weight and all that, he probably is identical to the guy that's in Kansas City, number 87. And guess who started to look like him a few years ago? Jake Ferguson. But these last year or two, not so much. Jake Ferguson looks like he's already old. That's what I don't like about it. Jake Ferguson is what? 29? Is that what that said? Jake Ferguson is 26 years old. Does anybody believe Jake Ferguson is 26 years old based on how he plays football this year and last year even? I mean, he moves like he's 40. We need to Achilles said we need to make NFL OT like college OT. Nah, maybe. Defense gonna get better. Overshown's coming back. Bland is getting. Let's not y'all look. Come on, y'all. I made a video about Overshown 2 a while ago. I said it's funny that the Cowboys haters think we really traded away our best player when Overshown is really our best player. I'm a huge Overshown. Everybody loves Overshown. Can we pipe down on him saving the season, y'all? Like, come on, y'all. This dude has gotten hurt the last couple years. He's not going to just come in July and in November and just be a game buster. Give them man some time. Let him work his way through it. Let him get some. Let him work. It's just I'm just scared he's going to get hurt again. I don't know. I don't know. Fergie is a security blanket. I think he's a good check down, safe bet player. I don't expect him to explode. That's Turpin's job, CDGP's job. I get it, man. But look, okay. Let's say you're right. Does that mean Jake Ferguson has to start? Because if you're gonna tell me he's just a security blanket, why the fuck did we pay him like he's a top 10 tight end? If we're only going to run him 5 yard routes and only expect him to get 6 yards on a 5 yard route, why did we pay him when he didn't score any touchdowns last year? I don't get it. There's a guy number 89 span forward. There's multiple guys at tight end that I think is more athletic than Ferguson right now. I get what you're saying. He's a check down. I get it. And there's multiple times every game Dak is going to throw it to him just to get to second and short, just to get it third and short. I get all that. I get all that. I get it. I get it. I get it. But why did we have to pay him? I don't get that. He was a fourth round pick. You didn't have to pay a fourth round pick. He didn't score any touchdowns last year. Make his ass earn it. I feel like we just started paying dudes. Why did we pay the fullback? Can somebody tell me why we paid the fullback? Why did we pay the fullback that looks like Mike Allstat or whatever? He looks like the dude in New York, but we don't even use him. We got a white dude at fullback that looks just like the Scatterboo dude or whoever from New York Giants, and we don't even play the dude. What did we? Why did we sign him? I don't get some of these signings. I really don't. I think Jerry Jones likes signing just nice guys that aren't going to say anything. Like, why sign Ferguson after an off year last year? I don't care if he didn't have Dak the whole year. Why? Make his ass prove it. Make him prove it this year. Now he doesn't have to prove it. I'm not saying he's not playing well, but 6 yards a catch? Nah. Fergus Witten was to Romo. I get it, man. But you can't sit up here and tell me that Ferguson is playing anywhere near Witten. Go back and look at some of Witten's highlights. As slow as he was moving, his ass was moving. For whatever reason, Witten every once in a while would get behind people. Witten every once in a while scored touchdowns. Remember those hospital balls y'all said Dak threw Ferguson that first game against the Eagles? Watch some of Jason Witten's highlights. There's gonna be one in particular where his helmet fucking flew off. And you tell me if Jason Witten stopped running. Because I remember the dude still running. I remember Jason Witten catching those hospital balls for touchdowns. As soon as we pay Jake Ferguson, everybody's like, no, you can't expect him to catch that. Why not? Why did we pay him? In other words, what I was saying was in college OT, we keep going until somebody wins. I don't want to see that. I'm sorry, Achilles. I don't want to see a 5 hour game. I was tired of watching that damn game. Who needs to see how bad a defense is? Like Achilles, let's just keep it real. If you have to keep going until somebody wins, those college games being 8 overtimes, bruh. Do you really want to see an 8 overtime NFL game? What would that do to the league? If you can't stop somebody in an overtime and you got 12, 15, 10 minutes, whatever it is, you deserve to be a tie. Sorry. We can't keep playing over and over and over. Nah, hell no. Hell no. We are not doing that in the NFL. We can't do that. You can't have no 8 overtime games. Yeah, no, yeah. I'm definitely not going to be the guy who says everything was bad. I mean, the Cowboys played better than I expected them to play. What's disappointing is the most disappointing thing about the Cowboys. I just don't understand how we keep letting guys get behind us. That first drive, I just don't get it. Like, what if the first drive we come and punch them in the mouth and they go 3 and out? Instead, we punch them in the mouth, and on third down, our freaking DBs give up a long pass because we still don't know how to play cover three. I'm with you. I just feel like, man, are we coaching? All this week, all this week, we heard about the DBs, the defense, simplifying it, communication. Now we're on one word calls. And on the first third down, that one word got you beat. All right, y'all. Who do we have next? Who do we have next? We have The sorry Jets. The 0-3 Jets. This is our get right game right here. This is our get right game. We have 1,000-yard quarterback through 4 games, y'all. He's going to throw for 5,000 yards. This game should not be a matchup. This should not be this should be a no contest. This should be a no contest. Look who our leading sack getter is. Jerry Jones, retire and let the fans coach this team. The fans said James Houston should be starting when we saw him in the training camp. And James Houston still ain't getting barely any play, and he's leading the team in sacks. Boo-hoo. Whoop-de-doo. James Houston leading the team in sacks. The guy that y'all signed a week before training camp. The guy who we first seen going against doing one-on-ones. We was like, who is James? He was number 53. And guess who's leading in sacks, playing 15 snaps a game? James freaking Houston. Mm, mm, mm. Who's going to the game? You may not be able to get a ticket. Y'all know them tickets on the away games be high. The Cowboy tickets were like $150 the day of the game. The day of the game. Ooh. Okay, New York. Now, New York, this is reasonable. This is very reasonable, New York. $100 in the ticket? That's not bad. The issue is y'all don't got no big jumbo screen, so now I'm gonna have to use my goggles to be able to see because I ain't gonna be able to look at the TV like I can if I'm at AT&T Stadium. You feel me? See, when you're at AT&T Stadium, you can look on the field or you can look at the big screen. And even if you're looking at the field, it doesn't feel like you're that high up. You know what I mean? We just got the best stadium. That's all I'm trying to say. But New York, man, get y'all tickets, man. Hey, Dallas is coming to town. I know y'all trash, but you know we like to make the games interesting. You know we like to make the games interesting, New York. Y'all know this. Go ahead, buy your tickets. We're going to make it an interesting game. We're going to actually make it closer to the fourth quarter. We're probably going to give Tyrod Taylor a 350-yard passing game. Brees Hall is averaging like 50 yards a game right now rushing. We're going to go ahead and give him 150 because we all know Brees Hall can really run the ball. But just because he hasn't run it well yet, he hasn't seen our defense yet. We have a good run defense, but we're going to give him 150 yards. That's going to be our worst run defense of the year. Garrett Wilson, we know you can play, so we know we're going to get you 200 yards receiving. We already know that we're going to give up plays. This is going to be a closer game than it needs to be because it's the Cowboys. That's fine. But we need to get this win. We need to get this win, man. Uh, Cowboys win 5 of their next 6 games. Defense will get healthier, better. If we're at least mid of the pack, we'll be okay. I believe that. Let's go back to the schedule. I believe that. I'll give you that. Let me look at the schedule, though, because you said 5 out of the next 6. Okay. Jets, that's a win. Panthers, that's a win. That's 2. Commanders, I still think we're better than Commanders. I don't care if Jaden Daniels plays or not. That's 3. Broncos, we should be able to beat Broncos. I'm not fearing Bo Nix. Who else do they have? That's 4. Cardinals. Ugh, I hate playing the Cardinals. The reason why I hate playing the Cardinals is I hate running quarterbacks. I'm going to say the Cardinals is going to beat us. We can beat the Raiders. That's 5. I get you. Okay. I see you, man. So we can win 5 or 6. We can win 5 or 6. If we go 5 of 6, that puts us at 6 and what? 6-3, right? That puts us what, like 6-3 or something like that. 6-3-1. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. Let's look at the Eagles. Who do the Eagles got? Let's start scoreboard watching. Let's start schedule watching. The Eagles. Hey! I know y'all saw. I know y'all saw the news on the Eagles. I know y'all saw AJ Brown. I know y'all saw AJ Brown pouting. Now my homeboy is a Philly fan, and every year I'll be like, "Hey man, AJ Brown don't look like he want to play with your boy Jalen. He don't look like he like playing with a running back at quarterback." I always get on Eagles fan because I always call Jalen Hurts a running back who plays quarterback. I don't believe Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. I believe Jalen Hurts is a guy who's not going to give you the game, and I believe he's going to run you into a victory. He can throw you into a victory if you let him. If you just give him one on one with AJ Brown, he just throws it up to AJ Brown. But if you make Jalen Hurts read defenses like we made him read defenses in week one, Jalen Hurts struggles. All we did was play zone against Jalen Hurts. He struggled the entire game. He was just taking off. And he's been doing it. That's why AJ Brown is upset. I told my homeboy this. I was like, look, y'all really think a receiver wants to see his quarterback taking off 15 times a game? No. Nobody wants to see that. All right, let's see what they're going to do. They're going to beat the Broncos. If I say the Cowboys can beat the Broncos, I got to say the Eagles can beat them. They're going to beat the Giants. The Vikings may be interesting, but they have a rookie quarterback. They're going to beat the Giants again. They can beat the Packers. We know they can beat the Packers. So, what are we realistically thinking the Eagles are going to do the next few games? That's a win, win, maybe a win, win. Packers ain't nothing special. Maybe we give the Packers one. I don't know. The Lions, maybe you give the Lions one, and maybe we can help the Eagles go and lose 3 games in a row here during this stretch here. But if we're being real, the schedule ain't that bad. Their schedule is pretty easy. I mean, they kind of got through their tough guy. They won their tough games. Chiefs, Rams, Buccaneers. If they beat the Broncos, that's their toughest stretch. We got to keep a buck a buck. If the Eagles go through these first games and they don't lose and they face the Chiefs, the Rams, and the Bucks, I mean they're on track. I don't care how bad how what we can talk shit all day about Jalen Hurts and Brown and all that. They're winning games. We made the Bears look tough. You really think we can beat the Jets easily? Yes. Stop it. Stop it. Okay? It's the Jets. Who the heck is the Jets quarterback? Yeah. Tell me who the Jets quarterback is. I'll come back. Cowboys need a big trade on defense. We need a bad motherfucker. You're not making no trades, y'all. All right. You have to show, we're going to have to show Jerry Jones that we're a legit contender before he trades assets during the season. Think about it if you're Jerry Jones. If you're Jerry Jones, you're looking at a defense that's by far the worst in the league. By far the worst in the league when it comes to just giving up big plays and all that. So if I'm by far the worst in the league, I'm not going to trade assets this year hoping to get better when I don't know. Right? Like people want us to go get the guy in Tennessee. I feel that. I feel you. I like maybe we should go get the dude at Tennessee, the defensive tackle. But defensive tackle is not our issue right now. Osa and Kenny Clark are balling. The plays that I showed earlier, where they were running the ball, linebackers have to step up. Linebackers just have to step up. Don't sleep on the teams. Giants beat the Chargers, man. I'm not. Look, man. I don't care about no New York teams. I do not care about no New York teams. Jets, Giants, don't care about them. Cowboys got to beat them. Have you seen free agents available? We don't need to trade nothing. We don't have no free agents. There ain't no free agents available. But I will say this, Achilles. There's a lot of talk about some people. There's a dude in Tennessee everybody been talking about. I'm not for trading anybody. It's too late. But if Jalen was running back, could a running back execute the tush push? Yes, that's why the tush push works. Jalen Hurts is freaking squats 7,000 pounds. One of the reasons the tush push works is because he's so strong. He's behind linemen and he's getting pushed from behind. He's strong as hell. That's thousands of pounds of force just going forward. It's hard to stop. That's just the reality. It's hard to stop. That's why they're trying to get it banned. It's because it's hard to stop, and it looks like a freaking dangerous ass play. You got linemen headbutting each other. Like they keep saying there's nobody getting hurt, so that means no. I don't care about that. I've played linemen before. These dudes are literally going head to head. There's no hands or none of that. Nobody's shooting hands in the tush push. Y'all notice that, right? There's no hand put. There's none of that. Everybody is literally going head to head. In a league where CTE is supposed to be an issue, concussions are supposed to be an issue, and we have a play where everybody's just going head to head. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and say ban it because nobody can stop it. I'm just saying the reason why it works so well for the Eagles is because of Jalen Hurts. I'm not going to sit up here and lie about that. If you put Josh Allen on the Eagles, here's what I don't think. If you put Josh Allen on the Eagles, they do the same thing. If not better, they're a better team. You really think Josh Allen on the Eagles don't win games? You said Tyrod Taylor, but I think Fields cleared the IL. Okay. Either way, I mean, let's be honest, Achilles. Is Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields that different today? Like, I get Justin Fields is supposed to be a better player. But if we're really being honest, Tyrod Taylor and Justin Fields are kind of the same guy. Like, they're kind of the same guy. Justin Fields has just shown me that he's so much better than Tyrod Taylor has been. I may be fearful of Tyrod Taylor more than Justin Fields. To be honest with you, I don't know. But they're the same guy. They don't scare anybody. No, no. Aubrey should not be worried. The only way you block kicks is if you're slow or if you kick the ball too low. That's it. That's the only way people block kicks. It should never happen. That's the reason why the field goal is designed the way it is. It's almost impossible to block kicks. You literally have to jump over somebody and get sky free. And even then, if it's a perfect executed kick, it's almost impossible to block it. The Cowboys used to block a couple every now and then, punts and stuff like that, but we haven't really done that in a while. Uh, yeah, man. So look, Philadelphia is not. We're not going to catch Philadelphia. Our best chance is if we can sneak into the wild card. We're not going to win our division. That's just clear. Like, Eagles are going to win. They already pretty much got through the toughest of their schedule. The Eagles are not going to lose enough games. Even if Jalen, not saying I want Jalen, I'm saying they can go through. The Eagles can go through injuries and still win games. That's just how good they are. So we need to make sure we get past the Washington Commanders. We need to sweep the Commanders, and we need to get ourselves into a wild card spot. All right, Detroit's going to win. Tampa and the Falcons is going to be good. That's going to be a good division right there. So we got to watch out for them. And then the NFC. Look at the NFC West. So how are we going to get a wild card, man? God, Lee, this is bad. The NFC West is going to have the wild cards. They may take both wild cards. I think there's still two wild cards, right? Because of the new season and the longer season. So if there's two wild cards, they may both come out of the NFC East. You're gonna have we're gonna have one of the top teams, and then you're gonna have a wild card and a wild card. I mean, the Cowboys can't lose a whole lot of games. We gotta win. You just got to. You can't lose games. You gotta win. And we lost so far to the Eagles, and we just tied with the we lost to the Bears. Did we lose to the Bears? Lost to the Bears. Yeah, I think we did. So we can't lose these NFC games. All right, y'all. Look, I'm gonna get up out of here. If you missed anything, I announced the winner. Congratulations to Claudia. She won the jersey. I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow. I'm gonna release the next question for the giveaway tomorrow. So stay tuned to that as well. Next question. Then my questions are answered. I'm gonna head out. Bet. Appreciate you. My boys better win my birthday weekend. Hey man, they gonna win for you, Achilles. They gonna win for you. All right, y'all. I appreciate it. Hey, look, in Dak we trust. In Dak, we trust. I'll holla at y'all.